I'm sitting down with Jen and Matt today for a powerful coaching session. These are amazing people who help working parents break free from feeling trapped in their own lives. But right now, they are stuck overthinking their YouTube channel. Matt loves building perfect systems and is holding them back from sharing their true voice. So in this video, we talk about how to stop scripting every single word and just start making videos. If you struggle with perfectionism, you need to hear this advice. Enjoy.
We see so many people in our careers and the people that we've coached who just operate in survival mode and burnout and just chronic suffering and have almost accepted that as a way of life, that life's just hard and they don't have a lot of options. They just keep beating their head against the same challenges. And we want to help people have more options.
There's too many people looking over the edge of the cliff, wondering, is this it?
Is this my only option?
Is this my only option? And we've been there looking over the cliff going, is this my only option? And all it takes sometimes is go turn the other way and go, no, there is a mountain and I want to climb that mountain. Not all at once, but there's other things that I can go do and go explore life again.
And so we've really seen that in our life and in the life of our clients. We see time, money, clarity, relationships, and our energy and health as really our 5 core resources. And what most of us do is we spend all of our other resources that we didn't even know that we had. And again, these are human resources. We all have access to these resources. But when we trade all of our time and energy and even sacrifice our relationships, we give everything to that pursuit of money. And then at some points in our life, we had all the money in the world. We had no time. Our relationships were burning out. We were burning ourselves in the ground. Health problems start to crop up because we didn't balance, money and time.
This is about simplicity and realizing you don't have to go to the far reaches of the world, which we feel like we've gone to, just to go change your life.
Yeah.
You can do it right here in a simple way, laying in your bed and make either little movements, little changes, or big, vast changes.
We are here with Jen and Matt, new members of our mastermind group here in Toronto. And as part of that, we're doing this. I'm excited to dive in. But before thinking about how I can help, why don't we give a little context to the audience about who you guys are and what you're doing?
My name is Matt. I've done lots of different things in life, and more than anything, I'd say that the core of me is being able to reinvent my life over and over and over again in so many different ways, which we'll start getting into.
Okay, it's like Madonna.
Yeah, for real. And it's been a journey, Evan. Like, we've been part of the mastermind for...
Intro yourself first.
Oh, I'm Jen.
Yeah, we're just diving in. It's great.
We've been part of the mastermind for a month now, and it's always been, well, not always, but the last couple of years, we've been able to create something special, not perfect, like a perfect dream life, but we've been able to unlock a bunch of different things. And so we've had like this desire of like, how would we even go about this? How do we even do this? And there's so many. I mean, reinvention is a topic that we are passionate about, which is something I've done, he's done over and over again. But also just our biggest mission is about helping individuals and specifically working parents who have built a life, who have built, they've built a career, they've gotten married, they've had kids, they do the things. And when you have all that responsibility, what we found in our professional careers, and I've done business consulting, and we've both worked in corporate world and helped businesses grow. But at the core of it, there's individuals, people who have built this life around them, and it begins to start feeling like a cage, which is what we've experienced. You do the career, you get married, you have the kids, you expect things to go like this, and then life has variables and chaos. And there's so many different complexities. And so we've done so much for the last decade, even beyond that. We've done all of the books, all of the coaching, all of the therapists, all these different things and concepts, but we've really boiled it down to a couple of key concepts that have helped us thrive individually first and kind of reworked our identity so that we can then be a power couple and go where we want to go, but not at the expense of our marriage.
And our individuality.
Our individuality of our kids. And so we're passionate because at the core of society are people, humans. And it's so hard, again, when you have all those responsibilities in life to reinvent yourself because the bills are real. What you've built is real. The people that you're dealing with, your partner and your kids, they're real. And so change becomes harder, at least what we've experienced, when you have those responsibilities. And that's what we see in the people that we've worked with and the people that we coach is that you begin to feel like that ball and chain to the life that you've built. And so we're all about helping people realize that this is your life, this is your reality, and you can change it regardless of what you've built because people really do feel powerless. All of a sudden, it's like this blame game. Well, I can't change because then my spouse will have an opinion about that, or I've got bills, or I've got kids. And it's just this push-pull of like, how do I please everyone else and we abandon ourselves at it.
The bottom line is people just get stuck, right, in lots of different ways, and it gets more complex when you add on all the other factors. And so one reason, I mean, we kind of talked about this when initially started talking with you, and the reason I love what you do as a whole is because you want people to believe in themselves. And sometimes there's so many obstacles. I mean, having 5 kids is a lot of obstacles, and they're obstacles at times too. They're lovely. They're all the things. They're all the things.
No, we got it.
Yeah. Anyways, like there's just a lot of things that come up as a whole, and so part of the struggles that we end up going through is like we want to be ourselves, and we figure that out, and then how do you work through all the variables to be able to do so and still, like the bottom line, experience life and feel alive again, and not just we're not here not to just exist and do the things and do the motions. Like how do you actually just enjoy life and enjoy that together and all those ways. So what you go to, what you're going to talk about. So
yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to spend a couple days together now, having some fun, talking YouTube, thought leadership, all those things. But you've also got me here for this fun chance. What, in advance of going into the event for the next couple of days, what can I help with? What's some things that I can maybe shed some light on?
Yeah, we've gone back and forth with which question or questions to ask you, Evan. It's not
the most important one.
Yes. For me, what I like to know is getting into the program as a whole and learning all the things. We haven't watched all your videos and all the content, right? And,
that's fine.
And it's step by step, and so I don't expect you right now. As we go through this, we know ourselves, and this is a new journey for the YouTube world, and we know our voices, and to get our voices out in such a way that it continues to be natural. And for me, I get stuck sometimes in the minutia of like, well, now you're doing YouTube, and then there's the analysis of YouTube, and then you got to go edit videos and all the other things. And I've lost myself along the way when we talked about like systems. I'm a system lover, right? So I can get lost in systems all day long, but I don't want to lose myself there because the universe, God, whatever calls to me as a whole is pulling me out going, Matt, you need to speak more. You need to be using your voice more. So for me, how have you found people not to get stuck and lose themselves in all that through the process? And what are those little nuggets, key things that you've given to people along the way that may or may not be in your program and would be applicable to us?
That's a great start. I would say first, coming back to the intention, which I know you guys are always preaching as well, and the thing we preach is also what we often need the most as well for the next evolution. And so what's the intention of doing it? It's to serve, it's to help. You're being called to do it, and the more you remember why. I do this too, like making a video, I've made 8,000 plus videos on my YouTube channel, right? Mm-hmm. It's easy to just, okay, another day, go film videos. Mm-hmm. I got to remember there's somebody on the other side of this computer that they're going to look at, and hopefully this is a video that helps them make a shift. And so it's easy to get to just do the thing versus remember why I'm doing the thing. Mm-hmm. So it's easy to get stuck in systems for you because you're a systems guy. For other people, they avoid systems at all costs because they hate it. It's like, but they need to have a little bit of system, right? If you remind yourself with the intention of, I have been called to serve and it's a powerful voice calling me and I need to do something, then that becomes a reminder to get you out of the muck. Because the thing is, this is classic good is the enemy of great. You're not wasting time. Mm-hmm. You're not like...
Yeah, you're productive.
Right. It's easy to convince yourself, like, this is important.
Yeah.
I need to, it's good.
Yeah.
You're not just off like gardening or something, right? You're
building something.
You're trying. It's a logical thing that you're doing. It's just not great.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like the shift from good to great is often just intention.
Yeah.
And that's a daily reminder. Or whenever you're putting YouTube content into your structure, that before I press record, I try to watch back one of my other videos, what I've already done, and try to be better than what I did last time. And I try to think of who this is for. It's a lot easier when we're here in person and chatting, and especially you guys are so great with people and connection. It's a skill to be able to translate that emotion into a camera when you're by yourself, or even if you're doing it together, to still focus on who we're trying to reach.
Yeah.
But even a quick mental exercise, or use each other as, accountability partners on that, of like, think about who this is for, because it just drops your heart into a completely different spot.
Yeah.
Versus like, I need to teach this thing versus I'm actually trying to help like this person, right?
Yeah.
So intentionality before you lock in on your YouTube day reminder that if you are being called to make videos and you're not making videos because you're stuck in analysis, then you're not actually, being intentional, right?
You just called me out of it.
Right. Well, you asked for it. It was a layup, right?
Yeah,
But like that's one. And the second is, if you're a structure person, then I don't know how you typically think and create structure, but there's macro structure and micro structures. And so at the top of the structure is making videos. So until the making video wheel is turning, the analytics wheel can't turn.
Yeah.
What are we analyzing? There's nothing to analyze. So put the creation into the structure. So it's the step one of the structure. Like you need water on the, what's the thing that grinds the flour?
Yeah.
The water, the mill that grinds the
mill,
flour.
yeah.
You need water.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have the perfect system to grind the flour that's just not moving because there's no water, right? So like at the top of the structure is content, and that has to happen. That's the first clock, and then all the other clocks can be built around that. So if you're a structure guy, build it into the structure. That is the first thing.
No, I like that because I don't look at that as structure. I often want to build New York City without putting any people in it. And you got to put the people, which would be like the content of well, where's the people? What do they actually need first? And then where do they need to be housed after that?
You hear I forget which university, but when they launched university, they didn't put any sidewalks in. Have you heard this?
No.
Oh, they didn't put any sidewalks, no walking paths. They just built it and it was all grass. And then and you can look it up, I just forget right now, just it reminded me. And then they saw where the students were walking on the grass and they made their own paths. And then that's what they turned into the walking path.
It was purposeful that they did that.
Right. They purposeful, grass, no walking paths. And then the students just take the shortest possible path to wherever they want to go. And whatever it turned to like dead grass, that's what they paved over and turned into actual walking paths.
I love that.
So you're building in harmony with, you can't just build New York City and then put people in it. Because you're gonna mess up for sure. 100%. Right? So you build in harmony. Right? People come, you make the content, and then as you're gonna need to make content before you get any meaningful analytics to look at. Right? So that's the first wheel. And then it's like with any machine, clocks. Like there's the main thing that spins, and then all the other gears like connect to the first one, right? And you can keep adding more and more gears, but it still all connects to the first one. That's a system, right? So like that first system, there's no point in building all these other gears until that first one is moving. The first one is content.
Well, and it's interesting because the just add on to that is where we both got stuck is because we both have our voices. We're both like these gears. And then we put the gears together, and the natural motion of it, our fundamental methods and what we do is great, but then we start getting into what you're talking about, it becomes a script, right? And we can be scriptless by ourselves, and then coming together, it's like, how are we talking through this? And we're really good podcast style. All day we can do podcast style, but when we're trying to do like buyer breakthrough videos, it's a very different concept for us to come together and we need to teach somebody a certain thing and be natural and go back and forth. Oh, we've recorded lots of videos. Have we actually finished editing a complete video? Not one yet because we...
Forget about the editing. How many have you recorded? What's lots of videos?
Oh, we've probably done...
4 or 5?
No, we've done probably about 10. We've done 10 plus as a whole. But a lot of it's just been, let's just turn the camera on and talk.
Yeah, okay, fine. That's not a lot of videos.
Yeah.
Like 10 is not a lot of videos.
Starting from 0.
No, I got it. But let's I'm
and we're talking hour to hour and a half long videos of just let's talk, let's go through this.
That's fine. That's fine. But one, again, like anything, you have to put reps in. If you try to do anything 10 times, you're probably not going to be great at it. So even with coaching and guidance, you're still not going to be great at it.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's not a lot.
Understood.
Right?
Understood.
That's all. And you're better. If you look at number 10 versus 1, you're already way better. Your 10th of just turn the camera on and talk is already better than your first one.
It is when that's the challenge. It is when we do podcast style.
But even if you did 10, just turn the camera on and not do podcast style and figure out how to do a buyer breakthrough video together, If you did that 10 times, your 10th is going to be better than the first. Like you
it's
guys
valid.
will find harmony.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way to do it is you do it and you'll find harmony.
Yeah.
Because I would guess if you are in a coaching session or you're talking with your friends, there isn't this like fighting to like who's going to talk. There's a harmony that happens where sometimes you might even just complete each other's sentences on some things and you're thinking similar thoughts, even if you might have a slightly different approach to it. That is just natural. And we just need to find that on camera. And if you actually forgot the camera was there, it's probably going to get better.
Yeah.
And how do you forget the camera's there? Well, through exposure and like doing it more often.
Yeah.
I just think you will figure it out and it's already getting better than it was before, as opposed to someone saying, okay, Jen, you're going to talk for 45 seconds. Then it's going to go to Matt.
Yeah.
You have 50 seconds and then you stop and it's going to go back to Jen. You're going to say a joke.
Yeah.
You're going to laugh and then back to you. And
That's how
you're
it's
gonna
felt. That's how it's felt.
yeah, but
like, for sure.
that's not you. Like some people, that's how they win. But like
Yeah.
you're going to die. You're going to hate your
This
life
is- yes.
making that content.
For sure.
You'll hate it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You could do it because if I said this is the only way to do it, you guys will do it because you'll grind it out and you're not excuse people and you just do it. But it's like actually not how you win. It won't be fun.
Yeah.
But if you did 10 videos and you will find your harmony. Everything from how you sit, like here you're sitting together, maybe you're facing each other, maybe there's a table in between, maybe it's on a couch, maybe like all of that, you will find your vibe of being able to make the content together in a way that it will feel natural and it won't take 100 videos, right? So when you say like we did lots of videos, right? Like it's 10, cool, long videos, you're gaining, like you're already way better. And if you did it again with now intention about who we're trying to help, you will find your rhythm. We have two members in our group, Markham and Jody have a channel about retirement. They're married and help people through retirement. So Markham's father basically drunk himself to an early death after retirement. He shares that story. That's not I'm not sharing anything new that he's not happy sharing. And so he didn't want to be his dad. Like, I'm retired now. I don't want to just sit on the couch and drink wine and watch TV, which is what his retirement was in the first like couple years. Like, okay, no, I am going to be my dad if we don't change this. And so they changed their life and he started making content, right? Now he's got 1,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. Him and his wife, Jody, make the content. And when they started, they needed everything scripted. And so it was fully scripted, teleprompter, fancy, everything. And as they got more comfortable, they lost the script. They have talking points. They have things they're going to talk about. But there's also like they may not know what the other person is going to say, which then injects some like fun into it, right? It's like, you think that? Wait, what? I never knew that. We've been married how long? It creates a fun dynamic to it, which is where you guys are going to win. So I think it's just doing more. And if you want like podcast style, what does that mean to you when you say we've been
It's more like this, like we're looking at each other this way, where a buyer breakthrough is more like
We're
you're
like-
looking
we're talking-
at the camera, like speaking to the people.
But when we have a conversation, we
It's
just
so-
have
it's
so
just
much
so
fun
natural.
and beauty comes out of it. Like we do discover things that we didn't even know we hadn't really fully talked about yet. But we like that, like from the heart kind of talking.
There's it's like, what's going to work for you? Like right now, you guys sitting together, we started off more formal. Now you're holding hands.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like maybe it's you guys sitting on the couch talking about something and holding hands, right? Like, but that's the kind of thing, like if somebody came and was like, you sit here, angle 45, hold hands, look at each other, smile, and then go, like, it's not going to work. Right? So it's thinking less and feeling more and then just doing that.
Yeah, that's good to know because I think that's where I get stuck with the system of like, this is how we're being taught and we should do it a certain way. Like this is the other examples of people out there instead of going, that never works for me. Like you're talking about, what's my flavor? Like how does this just work and how do we actually resonate with people?
If something feels wrong, change it.
Yeah.
Like I don't like this couch. Okay, move. Like we should do this outside. Go outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And then that will become the system. But you learn it. Nobody can come in and tell you how to be you.
Yeah.
Only that something's off and like how do you change it? But you guys are also intuitive enough to know and feel that something's off, right? Like you're really good at it. And so especially together, because you can call it out in each other, like this isn't us. Okay, cool. So what needs to change? And then go do that. Like go sit on the floor on a cushion. Or like there's a million options that you could do.
Yeah.
And whatever you feel most connected to is like that's what you, and then that becomes a system. And you might have different days, like your optimization, you can't prematurely optimize, which is what we're doing. Like we're overthinking.
Yep.
The beginning is messy, and then you optimize and you fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you might even find that like the relationship series, you're going to do on the couch and you're going to hold hands, or you're just going to be together. You're going to just be in close proximity. And then stuff's you're going to hold hands. Jen's going to put her head on your shoulder. You're going to hug her. Like stuff will happen just naturally.
Yeah.
Right. But then for the career stuff, maybe that's at the dining room table, or maybe that's sitting across from each other. Like you'll just find the rhythm, and then that becomes the system.
Okay. I love that.
But you
It's
can't
really
make a
helpful.
system in advance of
Yeah.
the doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll actually take you that long to figure it out. Like, it would shock
Agreed.
me if we're here in 3 months, like, I don't know, we don't know, like, how to film. Like, oh my, guys, are you,
For sure.
how many have you done? Lots.
Yeah, yeah.
15.
for sure.
Right?
We got big issues if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Do you have any follow-up questions yourself?
And we have
We've talked lots
time
of things.
What's your
for
big
a minute?
question?
Well, I think just on that same topic,
Yeah.
we talk, and I think perfectionism, that's me over here, because we'll have a conversation and then like at night I'll be like, oh my God, we need to talk about this too,
So many
XYZ.
things.
And so then we're like, oh, we need to have another video. Like we can't just go live with that one. It's got to have this other part to it too. And then it like grows teeth and fangs and whatever. And so it's hard for us to just figure out, where do we start? Because also, like our topics are so broad. We know who our avatar is, if you will, or like who we're really trying to serve and what the overarching mission is. But then we're like, we need to tell them all the things. And it's hard to just say like, okay, well, what's the first thing to talk about? I'm like, all of it, you know?
So I hear you, and like it's the same for everybody, because there's always more that you can say. And there's always like after it's, oh, I should have said this and I should have said that.
Yeah.
The way through is to trust that what you said in the moment is right for that moment.
Okay.
It's a moment. We had Tim here, who you're going to meet, I guess, tomorrow. He runs a network of 50 contractors across Boston doing home services. And he's obsessed with customer service, obsessed with excellence. So I asked him, okay, well, if you had to make a video about what an excellent customer experience looks like, what 3 points would you mention? And he gave me 3 points. And I said, okay, the third one was about, what was the third one? The third one was don't pressure. Don't pressure people to buy. You don't want your plumber coming to your house and pressuring you to upgrade to $40,000 whatever, right?
Yeah.
So don't pressure people to buy. Okay, Tim, take out the third one and give me a new third one. And he came up with something else, right? They're all great points.
Yeah.
He has 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has your plumber call you before he's on his way and ask if you want coffee,
Oh man.
right?
I would like this plumber.
It's like, that's crazy, but he didn't put that point in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're all good points.
Yeah.
And just trust that what you said in the moment was the right, like it came to you, those were the points. It was the right video for that time. Because the difference between that and like the perfect video all scripted out is not going to have the energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you'll lose
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So you can always have said something better, but you wouldn't have said it in the same way that you said it. You lose the energy, and then you lose the people.
That's exactly
Oh,
what's
that-
happening,
yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
We get in that mode instead of just enjoying the moment. Because we'll get so through,
Yeah.
we get through, and that's why the podcast style happens, because there's not this agenda. And
So we could demo it. Okay, so if you took the scenario of like the overworked, let's take the overworked mom, has 4 kids, struggling between like how much do I spend time in my work versus like the kids and mom guilt, and I don't know, should I be home more? Should I go for the promotion? What if I make more money than my husband? Like deal with this kind of person, right? Okay, what's one piece of advice that each of you would give to that person? And just not the whole, just the bullet point. What's the headline? Like what's the one thing that she should do?
for me, it would
Bullet
be
point.
Yeah.
take a breath for yourself.
Okay, take a breath
time
for
for
yourself.
yourself.
Okay.
Actually, mine would be the exact same. Like take a
You
minute.
guys are ridiculous. You're already completing each other's sentences and you're not even trying. Yeah. That's crazy. Okay. You have to do something else, Jen.
I guess it would be like take a pause. Take a
No,
minute.
you have to pick something else now.
Okay. I would say, what do you want to do?
Okay, now you have to pick something else.
Give yourself a hug.
Okay? And now you got to pick something else. We had to take a pause.
I would say love yourself more.
But the point is like, what's the best answer in there? They're all right.
They're all right. Yeah.
What's going to happen if you heard that situation, you had that question, you're going to be holding somebody in your heart at the moment.
Yeah.
You're thinking of somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or somebody kind of like that person. You're imagining them, you're thinking about them. Even if it's not a mental exercise, you just are. Like you're subconsciously thinking about a person like this, and you're going to give them the answer that is right in that moment for you.
Yeah.
So you're going to say, give them a hug, and you're going to say, love yourself. And that's the video.
Yeah.
You can't beat yourself up afterwards and say, I didn't say take a breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
We missed that step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it wasn't actually the right step
Yeah.
for that moment.
And
it's fine.
Yeah.
You can make another video later.
Yep. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
very helpful.
Just trust that was given to you for that moment.
Yep.
And it was perfectly aligned, and it was exactly what needed to be said.
Yep. It's just like these questions. It's a lot easier. And so, like, we've been thinking of all the questions to ask Evan instead of just, we're here.
Yeah.
What's the question that comes
what's on
out?
your mind? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because that is then very repeatable. And especially with the two of you, like, it's crazy that you're completing his sentence already on, like, oh, that was mine. And you will find that where you just naturally flow.
Sync.
If you ever watch, I don't know if you guys are any sports you guys watch at all? You care?
I'm
No?
more of an extreme sport person.
Okay, I don't know what they're like. Usually in sports, the commentators, there's the play-by-play, and then there's the color commentator, right?
Yeah.
The play-by-play is saying what's going on,
Yeah.
and the color commentator is telling the stories about the people. And when there's nothing happening, the color commentator is saying something, and when there's action, the play-by-play is doing their thing, right? So extreme or football or baseball or whatever. I grew up baseball guy, so whatever. But when you watch these people at the beginning, if you ever watch like them do their thing, at the very beginning of them working together, they're pointing a lot at each other, right? It's like the action play-by-play person is doing, and then this happened, okay, then.
Yeah.
And then the color time is, and let me tell you about why this person got started or whatever, like, right? But then as they work together, it's just like,
Then it flows.
it flows.
They
Yeah.
know.
And the color commentator knows when they need to talk, and the same thing for the
Yeah.
action person. And,
Yep.
and when action happens, the color commentator needs to shut up and stop the story
Yeah.
Yes.
so that the play-by-play can happen. Or if like it's more boring than expected, the color commentator needs to tell the
It's
story
the nudge.
for longer
Yeah, yeah.
and go longer. But they don't need to keep pointing and nudging and wink and like, oh, what
Yeah.
are you, right?
Yeah.
They get the signals.
And they're not married, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
becomes a kind of marriage, a professional marriage at least. I think you guys will just find that flow pretty quickly if you allow yourself to be and just stop overthinking
Yep.
Yes.
and judging the video.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's spot on with what
Yeah.
we need.
Yeah.
So you're doing like the bi-weekly videos, but also the biz dev show, right? So same thing with the biz dev show. Like, who's going to ask what question? You can have a list of different questions that you're going to have, but that should be thrown away like
Yeah.
5 minutes into the video
100%.
because you're going to have follow-up questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'll just feel whose question.
Yeah.
You're not going to talk over each other.
No.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not your, and you're not going to get to the point like, oh, neither of us have anything to say. Okay. Like the first one or two might be a little awkward as you just get finding your feet, but you'll find your flow and your rhythm through it, just through the doing. Like, other people need a lot more structure because they're so scared and so nervous. They're like, I can't do this unless I have 10 questions like perfectly lined up. You guys will be fine. The overstructure, I think, actually hurts
Yep.
the creation.
Yeah.
It suffocates the creation in the heart,
Yeah.
which is your entire thing.
Yep. Yeah. I'm super excited about the interview aspect of it. I keep telling her.
We love
I just
talking
love
to people.
hearing people's stories. It's not about me. It is about them. And I love that story aspect.
Yeah,
And how
I-
it just evolves.
But it's easy to get lost in the process and like, okay, how many questions are we going to ask?
Yeah.
How do we make sure we have equal time? And like, okay, Jen, what questions do you want to make sure you
Yeah.
get? And like, okay, I want to make sure these 5 questions get answered. And then if you lived in that when you do the interview is toast. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
so in
yeah.
your head. There's no connection. The whole point of doing it is to build a real connection. And you guys are so curious and observant. Like, you'll see things and then like see a thread that nobody else sees
Yeah.
and pull on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you'll both pull on that same weird thread together and it'll land somewhere magical.
Yeah.
That's a terrible like structure, right?
Yes.
Like, if I was coaching somebody through it, find a thread, pull on it, and expect magic. Like, that's a terrible, like, that's crazy, right? Like, I come from the venture capital world. Like, what's your business plan? Magic.
yeah.
Like, you are fired.
Yeah. 100%.
But it's like, but that is actually how you win. Like,
Yes.
you're gonna have your list of questions, and that's not like don't prepare. Prepare.
Yeah,
Your best
yeah.
preparation will be watching other YouTube videos they've done, seeing what they did on Instagram,
getting to know them.
and just finding something that you like about them that like
Yeah.
is a curiosity point for you.
Yep.
And then and you can have your list of 10 questions, but you're really going to ask one, and then you're going to pull on a thread and end up somewhere completely different, which will be better than your, okay, stop. Okay,
Hold
next
on.
question
Yeah,
here. Let's go to this question because it's on my list and this is a structure, right?
Yep.
So it's having a structure, but the willingness to completely toss it because you're going to end up somewhere better.
Yeah. Well, and really, that's just how we live life, right? Like I think that's been coming into this is, there's a new journey. It's a new way of doing things. How does this world work as a whole? And that's what we're realizing more and more is like, well, don't change anything that you're doing. You're just now recording it. You're just now talking to somebody on a camera or doing things. So we're coming to that realization more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to win being people who you aren't.
Yeah.
Especially people like you.
Yeah.
I mean in a good way, like people like you in a positive way.
I
It's
take that as a
like,
What does this
compliment.
mean?
yeah,
I
well,
don't
it's
know.
like incredibly like heart-centered, intuitive people. You need to follow the flow as opposed to being forced into a rigid structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
That's helpful.
That's super helpful.
Let's go. I love
Yeah.
it. To watch me coach another amazing entrepreneur, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe. I'll see you there.
Tim White built a service company by doing the one thing most businesses refuse to do: care like it's personal. And the crazy part is he's been hiding the best selling tool he has: his voice, his values, and his stories.